about purpose. We are continuing from yesterday, and we are talking about purpose today. What is my purpose? What is my purpose? If you were with me yesterday on this subject, then you know where we are headed today. I'm going to do as much as I can today to bring you to the understanding of how to find your purpose. How to find your purpose. So take this time if you can and share this with someone on your social media. Invite someone to come and join us. Invite someone to be part of this. Invite someone to be part of this. To everything, there is a purpose. To everything, there is a purpose. There is a purpose to your life. What that means is that you are here on assignment. You are here on assignment. And today I'm going to bring you to the knowledge of that. Your life is not a waste. You are not useless. You are important. You are important. You serve a purpose. Without you, there'll be a vacuum in the world. Without you, there'll be a vacancy in the world. Your purpose in this world is strategic. Your purpose in this world is intentional and deliberate by the manufacturer of your life. So today we will go in there and we will talk about it. So spend time, just share this with someone. Have someone join us. Have someone join us right now. Just have someone join us. Let someone join us. Let someone be part of this. Just share it. Share it with someone on your social media. Share it on your Facebook. Share it on your YouTube. Those of you who are watching on YouTube Live, you can share it with your friends. Invite people to join us. I believe that this will be a blessing to someone. I believe that this will change the life of someone. It will affect the life of someone who feels hopeless, someone who feels that they are useless, someone who is at the verge of committing suicide. This will be a lesson that will transform their life and change them. So share this, share this. Invite someone to come and watch this. Invite someone to be part of this. I want to make you understand your own life today. I want to make you understand your life, that your life is important. Your life is important. There is a reason for your life. There is a reason for your life. There is a purpose for your life. I told you yesterday that to everything there is a season. To everything there is a season. In the book of Ecclesiastes, the chapter number 1, it is written over there that to everything there is a season. I'm just trying to share this myself. So just share it yourself with someone. Let someone join us. Let someone join us. Let someone be part of this. Let someone be part of this. I have a lot to talk to you about. But before we do that, I want you to share it with someone. Share this with someone and let someone be part of this lesson with us today. God bless you. Those of you who are joining us, thank you so much. Those of you who are coming on, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate having you today. I appreciate having you. I appreciate having you today. Thank you for being part of this. Yesterday, I told you what was written in Ecclesiastes, the chapter number 3, that to everything, there is a season. To everything, there is a season. And there is a time for every purpose under the sun. There is a time for every purpose. There is a season for your life. And there is a time for you to fulfill the purpose over your life. You do not have forever to live. You do not have forever to live. When you leave this world, it must be recorded that you lived and not that you existed. A lot of people have only existed. They never had a chance to live. When we talk about you living, it means you made an impact upon the world. You left your footprint upon the earth. Your name is remembered. Your name is known. It is my prayer. It is my desire for you that you will not exit this earth and that it will be said of you that you only existed. Nobody ever heard of you. You never impacted any life. The reason is because you couldn't fulfill purpose. You couldn't fulfill purpose. And I want to help you today to come to a discovery of purpose. Thank you for joining us, those of you who are on. Thank you for joining us. To everything, there is a season. A season. Your life is a season. It means you don't have forever to live. Your life is a season. If there is one thing that is sure on earth, it is death. Every human being has an appointment with death. And that appointment cannot be rescheduled. That appointment cannot be changed. Everyone has an appointment with death. There is a season for everything. Everything expires in life. There is a season for everything in life. But one of the things you have to understand is this, that to everything is given a purpose within its season. See, there is a difference between time and season. You see, when a woman is pregnant, she goes through what is called, she's in her season. She goes through the season of pregnancy, and that is 9 months. But there is something called the due time. The due time is the day of delivery. That is when the woman delivers. So there is a season of carrying, a season when she carries the pregnancy, and then there is a time of delivery. So the statement, to everything there is a season and there is a time for every purpose. In other words, your life, you are carrying something inside of you. You are carrying purpose inside of you. And that purpose will only stay inside of you for a season. Just as a woman can only carry a baby inside of her for a season. After the 9 months and maybe 10 months and things like that, things begin to get complicated and so forth after the 10th month. So she has a season to carry. She does not have forever to carry. What is inside of you, you do not have forever to carry it. What is inside of you, you cannot carry it forever. You only have a season to carry what is inside of you. You see, when a woman does not deliver what is inside of her, it becomes a problem to her and a problem to the baby or the child inside of her. There is a reason why many of you are uncomfortable sometimes. There is a reason why many of you feel restless. The reason is because purpose is fighting inside of you. The reason is because purpose is pushing you around. There is something you ought to do that you are not doing, and that makes you restless. That makes you tired with life. That makes you fed up. There is something inside of you. You may not be able to put your hands on it, but it is fighting with your destiny. It is fighting with your ability to exist. When a woman is pregnant and she cannot bring herself to delivery, she places herself at risk, number one, and she places the baby inside of her at risk as well. So when you are carrying purpose inside of you, you are a danger to yourself if you don't deliver. And you are not just a danger to yourself if you don't deliver, you are a danger to the purpose inside of you. You are a danger to the purpose inside of you. Because that purpose inside of you is meant to solve a problem on earth. And it needs to be delivered. Judas died before his time. Judas died an untimely death. Judas took his own life. He could not fulfill purpose. And when he died, Peter called a cabinet meeting. And Peter said unto the rest of the disciples that Judas has left a vacancy. His bishopric is now vacant. And it is necessary that we appoint someone to fill it. There was something he was supposed to do that he could not do because he died an untimely death. His purpose was not fulfilled. It is my desire for you that you will not die untimely. It is my desire for you that you will not die unfulfilled. You will not die without fulfilling your purpose in life. It is my desire for you. Invite someone to join us. Invite someone to join us. Purpose is crucial. I told you yesterday that purpose determines your association. Purpose determines your association in life. Everything has a reason why it exists. Your life has a reason why you exist. Look around you in your house. Is there anything in your house that is there without a reason? Everything in your house is there for a reason. Everything that was made, everything that was manufactured around you has a reason. Everything you see around you in your house has a reason why it is there. That should tell you something. It should also tell you that if you also exist, it means that you also have a reason. There is a reason why you also exist. You may not know the reason for your existence, which is why we are here today, or perhaps. Just like there are a lot of things in your house, you don't know the reason for most of the things in your house. There are some electrical connections and that pipes and all kinds of things. You may not be technical enough to know the reason and the purpose for everything in the house, but it does not mean that it does not have a reason. Everything has a purpose, but not every purpose is known. Everything has a purpose, but not every purpose is known. There is a reason for your life. There is a purpose for your life. You may not know the purpose for why you are alive. I told you yesterday, and I said unto you that no one can tell you what your purpose is. No one can tell you what your purpose is. Your life has a purpose, but nobody can tell you what your purpose is. Not your mother, not your father, not your teacher, no college, no institution can tell you what your purpose is. There is no prophet that can tell you what your purpose is on earth. There is no wise man that can tell you what your purpose is on earth. So how do you discover purpose? Purpose is so crucial. You must first of all understand this. You must first of all understand what purpose is. Write this down if you were writing yesterday, or if you were not here yesterday. Thank you for joining us. It is not a repeat. Yes. I'm just trying to summarize what I said yesterday before I go into today's subject with you. But I want you to understand this. Purpose is what was needed. Purpose is what was needed that caused the manufacturer to create something to go get it. Purpose is what was needed that caused the manufacturer to create something to go and get it. In other words, the intent of the manufacturer for creating something was purpose. The manufacturer had a reason why he created it. Look around you once again in your house. Anything that you own was created by a manufacturer, and the manufacturer created it for a reason. He created for a reason. I told you yesterday, purpose answers the question, why? Purpose answers the question, why? Why am I here? Why am I alive? Purpose answers that question. If you want to know why you are alive, you have to find out what your purpose is. If you want to find out why you were born in that village, why you were born in that countryside, you have to know what your purpose is. The writer Paul, the apostle, made a statement and he said that God has called us of one blood of all nations to dwell upon the face of the earth. And he said that God has predetermined the boundaries of our habitation. Listen very carefully. He said God has predetermined the boundaries of our habitation. In other words, the lines have been drawn as to where you shall be born before you were born. The lines were already drawn. It was stated where you were born before you were born. It was stated who will give birth to you before you were given birth to. Paul, the apostle, said that God has predetermined the boundaries of our habitation. He has called us of one blood to dwell upon all the face of the earth. But he determined where you shall dwell. He determined where you shall be born. The reason is because of your purpose. Purpose. Purpose is what determined who your mother is. Purpose is what determined who your father is. Your life is not an accident. If you were born and your father was not alive, it is in line with your purpose. If you were born and your mother was not alive, it is part of your purpose. It is strategically a part and parcel of your life. It does not place you at a disadvantage. It places you at an advantage with your assignment on earth. Because your assignment on earth required that you should be born without a mother or without a father. You understand this as we go further. But purpose has determined where we were born. Purpose has determined where you live right now. It's about your purpose. And I want you to understand this very carefully. Because if you do not know your purpose in life, you are a liability to yourself. If you do not know what your purpose is, you will abuse yourself. The reason why many people abuse themselves, the reason why many of you look down on yourself is because you do not understand what your purpose is. That word abuse is a constructive word. It is a combination of two words, abnormal and use. The word has been ablished. It has been shortened and brought together, and it has become abuse, which is abnormal usage. So the word abuse simply means the abnormal usage of a thing. In other words, if you abuse yourself, it means that you are abnormally using yourself. That is what it means. In other words, you don't know what your purpose is. See, when you don't know what the purpose of a thing is, you abuse it. When you use something for the reason why it was not made for, it is abused. It means you are abusing that thing. If you don't know your purpose, life becomes meaningless. You are going nowhere, but you are heading nowhere. If you don't know your purpose, all roads will get you there, which means that you will get nowhere in life. Purpose is essential. If you don't know what your purpose is, you become a duplicate. You will not become an original. Something happens when you go around our city areas, our neighborhoods, our communities. You'll find young men on a basketball court in the summer playing basketball. I remember when I was growing up here, almost every young man had a jersey that says number 23, which is Jordan. Every one of them wanted to be Jordan. See, when you don't know your purpose in life, you become a duplicate. You want to be someone else. So none of them had a chance to discover themselves because they were forcing to be someone else. But there can always be one original. And up until today, there has not been another Jordan. You can only find yourself and you can only be yourself. If you don't know your purpose, you'll be a duplicate. You'll be a photocopy. And the photocopy is never better than the original. It is essential that you discover what your purpose is. If you don't know what your purpose is, you will spend so much money on schooling. You will spend so much money on a college degree and you will come back again and you'll be confused. If you don't know what your purpose is, you'll be working a job and they'll be paying you. You'll be coming home, they will pay you and you will not be fulfilled. You will not be happy. You go to you go to your workplace and you are sad and you are bored and you want to fall asleep. Waking up in the morning becomes a difficulty unto you. The reason is because you are doing something that you were not born to do. It was Madame Teresa who said that if you are doing what you love, you will never work a day in your life. If you are doing what you are born to do, you will never work a day in your life. Purpose. The reason for which you were born, if you are doing that thing, it will not feel like a job. The reason why your job feels like work, it feels like a job, and they have to force you, they have to press you, and you go there, you're upset, you are mad, you are not excited to wake up, you are not motivated to wake up. It's because you have not discovered your purpose. It means that thing you are doing is not what you were born to do. That is why it does not make you happy. You may be paid a lot, but it is not bringing you fulfillment. You may be climbing that corporate ladder, but it is not bringing you fulfillment. Only purpose can bring you fulfillment. Without purpose, if you don't know your purpose, you will end up with a wrong identity. You will show up as someone else and not you. You will be lost. If you don't know your purpose, you will look like someone else. You will dress like someone else. You will talk like someone else. The reason is because you have not found yourself. You have not found yourself. Many of us are walking with the image of someone else because we have not yet discovered purpose. So when you are walking, you are not the one walking because you are dressed like someone. You are dressed like Armani. You are dressed like Versace. You are dressed like Gucci. The reason is because of the fact that you have not yet identified who you are yourself. False identification. When your name is mentioned, you are not the one who shows up, even though physically you did show up. But you cannot be recognized. The reason is because of the very fact that you have lost your identity. When you don't know your purpose, you'll be doing the wrong thing in life. It is essential that you discover what your purpose is in life. The reason is because when you discover purpose in life, your life gains meaning. Your life gains meaning. When you discover what your purpose is, your life gains meaning. Let me tell you something. Purpose will keep you alive. The reason why you need to discover what your purpose is because purpose will keep you alive. The day you discover what your purpose is the day you came alive. One time they wanted to kill Jesus. And when they came, Jesus said unto them that my time is not yet. How did he know when his time is? Why? Because it is said that there is a time for every purpose. If you know what your purpose is, you have an argument against death. You can write that down. If you know what your purpose is, you have an argument against death. The doctor will tell you that you are going to die, and you can tell the doctor, I am not dying yet. You can tell that sickness you are not dying yet because you know what time your purpose will expire. You have an argument against death. But if you don't know what time your purpose expires, if you don't know what your purpose is, and you receive a report that you are about to die, you might as well accept it because you don't know. Death comes to everybody else. But purpose will keep you alive. Jesus said, my time is not yet. How did he know that? Because he knows. He knows when he's supposed to die. Purpose tells you when you will die. Purpose. If you know what your purpose is, it will keep you alive. It will save your life. You know, Jesus one time, he took a boat with his disciples and they were traveling from one side to the other side. He said unto the disciples, we are going to the other side. And they were in a boat. They were crossing the river to the other side. And there was a very great storm. And the storm was so great that the water was flowing into the boat. And the boat was capsizing. Their lives were in danger. The rest of the disciples were screaming and they were shouting because they were about to die. And you know what happened to Jesus? The writer tells us that he was in a boat and he was sleeping. And not only was he sleeping, John Mark, the writer, said he had a pillow in the boat and he was sleeping in the boat. You see, when you have a pillow and you are sleeping and water is pouring into the boat, it means that the pillow is wet. But yet still, the man was sleeping. Why was he sleeping? Purpose. Purpose. Purpose gives you an argument against death. Purpose tells you that even though there is danger, this is not the danger that will end my life. This is not a storm that will destroy my life. Purpose keeps you alive. Purpose gives you a reason to be alive. So Jesus slept in that boat. And he slept in that boat because of purpose. Because of purpose. The disciples woke him up and they said, Master, do you not care that we perish? Do you not see what is about to happen to us? And the writer John Mark said, Jesus woke up and he was furious with them. He was upset with them. You would have thought they did him a favor by waking him up. But he was furious. And he said unto them, he said, ye of little faith. Do you know why he made that statement when he said ye of little faith? Because you see, these were Jewish men. From the period where they grew up until the age of 12 years, every Jewish man was taught the prophecy of the Messiah. And every Jewish man knew that the Messiah would die not by drowning. Every Jewish man understood the prophecy concerning the Messiah. So he said unto them, ye of little faith. If you indeed say that I'm the Messiah and you claim to believe it, then why are you afraid to drown here? My purpose is not to end in this place. See, that is why he could sleep in the boat. He could sleep in the boat because of purpose. Some of you cannot sleep. You are worried. You are anxious. Some of you are living in fear because you have not discovered purpose yet. Purpose will cause you to walk through the valleys of the shadows of death and you will not fear any evil. Purpose will cause you to rise up in the middle of the storm, in the middle of pain, in the middle of trouble. Everything could turn against you and purpose will give you the ability to stand. Purpose will fortify your feet. Jesus knew that he was not going to die over there. He was not afraid of the storm because he knew his purpose in life. Do you know what your purpose is? Do you know what your purpose is? Are you afraid of death? It means that you do not know what your purpose is in life. Let me give you one more example before I go on, because today I am going to help you to rediscover your purpose. I'm going to give you one of the steps to rediscovering your purpose today. I'm going to do that for you today. It may not be the biggest of the steps. I'm reserving the biggest for the last. But today I'm going to give you one of the steps when I'm done talking. But hear me. The Apostle Paul, one of the most important characters of the Christian era, he came to a place where he was arrested. And when he came to that place, he was arrested, he was placed in a boat, and they were taking him to Caesar. And while he was on the journey to Caesar, there was a great storm, a great hurricane. And the captain of the boat, the captain of the ship, saw the storm and said unto the entire crew that, listen, what is about to happen, none of us will survive it. But if you can jump into the sea, you might have some probability of surviving the storm. But Paul said unto the people, he said, wait a minute, don't jump yet. If you want to leave, come to my side, come and stand with me. How did he have that boldness? The reason was because he knew what his purpose is. His purpose was that he will go to Rome. His purpose was not for him to die in a boat. His purpose was not for him to be shipwrecked. His purpose was not for him to drown. So because of that, he also, like Jesus, had an argument against death. And he said to everyone in the boat that if you want to leave, come to my side. If you don't want to die, come close to me, because I know that I will not die in this place. I have seen my purpose. My purpose in life has been declared unto me, and I know I will not die in this place. One day, Paul was in a tent with the rest of the other disciples, and there was a great prophet called Agabus. Agabus woke up, he took a belt, and he lifted up the belt, and he made a statement. And he said, the person whose belt is this says the Lord, you shall die in Rome. And Paul said, Agabus, that is my belt, give me back my belt. Agabus was able to disclose the future of Paul's purpose to Paul. But Paul knew that already. He was not afraid of going to Rome to die, because Agabus said you will die in Rome. He knew his purpose was to go to Rome regardless. See, anyone who knows their purpose knows where they will end in life. Anyone who knows their purpose knows where they will end in life. That is why he was in the boat, and he said unto the people in the boat that if you want to leave, come close to me, because according to the mandate of my purpose, this is not where I am supposed to die. Purpose gives you boldness. It gives you boldness. He said, if you want to leave, come close to me. And it was said that everyone came close to Paul. Listen to me. If you don't know what your purpose is, and you are struggling to find out what your purpose is, find someone who knows what their purpose is and stick to them. They will keep you alive for the time being. Paul said, if you want to leave, come close to me, because I know where I will die. I know my purpose. If you don't know what your purpose is, find someone who knows what their purpose is. Hang around with them. You will be insulting your own intelligence if you are working with another person who does not know what their purpose is. You will be playing yourself if you are working with a friend who does not know what their purpose is, and you also don't know what your purpose is. You are both a liability to each other. You are both a danger to each other. Let me send you on a new assignment if you don't know what your purpose is yet. Go and look for some friends who knows what their purpose is. They will keep you alive. Friendship is contagious. Association is contagious. If someone has life, they can share life with you. If someone has death, they can share death with you. People who always have bad things happen to them, when you walk around them, they will rub on you bad things. Association is contagious. If you don't know what your purpose is, find someone who has a purpose and walk with them. They will keep you alive. So they stick with Paul. They came close to Paul. And when they came close to Paul, something happened. The boat collapsed. But yet still, none of them died. None of them died. They were all washed ashore. and none of them died. And while they were lying there on the shore, while they were lying there, a snake came and bit Paul. The snake bit him. And when that snake bit Paul, Paul lifted up his hands, and the snake was still hanging onto his hands. And the record of the writer was that Paul shook the snake off, according to Luke. The reason was because he knew that he was not to die here. Purpose. He was not afraid of the snake bite. He was not afraid of what was happening to him because he understood his purpose in life. He was not to die in this place. Listen to me. You may be sick. Listen to me. You may be going through a lot. You may be tired of life. What you need to keep you going is purpose. If you can discover purpose, it will change your life. It will give you a reason to wake up. It will give you passion. Purpose will give meaning to your life. And I want you to understand that. When you know what your purpose is in life, you outgrow the competition. Many of you, you envy your sisters. Many of you, you envy your brothers. The reason is because you have no purpose yourself. When you know what your purpose is, you become above the standard. You outgrow that competition. You do not compare yourself with anyone. You do not see yourself in a race with anyone because you understand that you are here to do something that only you can do. You have been qualified and quantified for that assignment. That should give you boldness that you are special when you know what your purpose is. You don't care who rises because you understand what you are carrying inside of you. Purpose changes that. Purpose changes that. When you know your purpose, you are beyond comparison. You are beyond comparison. You don't compare yourself with other people. Purpose brings you fulfillment in life. I want you to understand this very, very carefully as to what purpose does to you. Because when you understand purpose, you do not worry about what people say about you. When you understand what your purpose is, you don't care about the hearsays. Because purpose tells you who you are and not what other people say that you are. It is people who do not have a purpose in life, who do not know who they are. Those are the people who are worried about what people say that they are. It is a very dangerous thing, friends. It is a liability not to know your purpose in life. Because if you don't know what your purpose is, you'll be sold in the market for a cheap price. Because you don't know what your wealth is. You don't know what your value is. You will be given an offer and you'll be excited and you accept that offer because you don't know what your purpose is in life. You don't know what your purpose is. The highest bidder will buy you off. You will place yourself on the market on a value that is low because you don't know what you are worth. The most dangerous thing on earth is when people tell you what you are worth because you don't know what it is. The most dangerous thing on earth is when you don't know your own value in life and people tell you what you are worth. Let me help you discover what your purpose is. I have 20 minutes more. I told you, purpose is the reason something was created. That was the definition. Purpose is the reason something was created. And I told you also that purpose is what was needed that caused the manufacturer to create something to go get it. In other words, the first rule to know your purpose is to consult the manufacturer. Because anything around you in your house, anything in your house that you see, everything in your house you see has a purpose. To know the purpose of that thing, you need to consult the manufacturer of that thing. For me to know the maximum purpose of this thing, I need to consult the manufacturer of this thing, this tablet. The manufacturer of this tablet has defined this tablet in a way that only he or she understands it. So for me to be able to operate this thing to its maximum capability, I need to consult the manufacturer. And you need to know that as well. There is nothing around you that has no manufacturer. Look around you in your house. Everything around you was created by someone. Everything around you in your house was created by someone. And if it was created by someone, that someone had a reason for creating it, and that someone had a purpose for creating it. So for me to understand that thing, I need to consult the manufacturer. Now, this is an Apple tablet. It is an iPad. If I want to know about this iPad, I don't consult Samsung. I don't consult Microsoft, because they are not the manufacturer of this product. It is only the direct manufacturer of this product knows the capability of this product. That is why I told you from the beginning that your mother cannot tell you what your purpose is. Your teacher cannot tell you what your purpose is. It is only the direct manufacturer of your life that can tell you what your purpose is. You have to understand that. If this thing is broken, this iPad is broken, and it is made by Apple, and I take it to Microsoft to fix it, Microsoft will not fix it. But there are some vendors around the block who can fix it. They don't work for Apple, but they have the capability to fix it. The only problem is that when they fix it, they will not use genuine parts, because of the fact that only the manufacturer authorizes genuine parts. No one knows the product like the manufacturer knows the product. That is why I told you that no prophet can tell you what your purpose is. No school, no college, no institution can tell you what your purpose is. To know what your purpose is, you need to consult the manufacturer. The manufacturer of this product is the only one who is authorized to create a manual for this product. Nobody else. Nobody else. The manufacturer of your life provided guidelines to your life. I'm going to say this because when I said unto you that the first step to finding your purpose is to consult the manufacturer, I don't want you to get to the point where you begin to conclude that, well, that means I have to pray to find out what my purpose is. No, that is not what I'm saying. You see, when this product came, when I bought this product, it came with a manual. It came with a manual. The manual told me what the purpose of this thing is without me even consulting the manufacturer. Without me even speaking to the manufacturer, this thing came with a manual that described its purpose. A manual that told me how I will handle it. And you have to understand that with your life. You don't need to pray to find out what your purpose is. So I don't want us to box this and conclude on this, because I know many of you will go back and you pray and you will still not find what your purpose is. When I found out what my purpose is 15 years ago, I didn't pray to find out what my purpose is. See, this thing came with guidelines. And in the guidelines, the manufacturer included the purpose of this thing. Anything that you see around you in your house came with a manual. Anything that you see around you came with something, a guideline. Even the sofa came with some guidelines as to how to set it up. It came with a guideline as to how to clean it up, how to make sure that you don't mess it up when you clean it. You don't use bleach on it when it is leather. It came with some guidelines to serve its purpose. There is nothing that did not come with a guideline. Even a small lipstick came with a guideline. Everything came with something to tell you what it does. Your life came with a guideline. Your life came with a manual, because every manufacturer is required to include a manual with its product. And when that product has no manual, the manufacturer provides one for it. You see, this thing that I have in my hands There is no one authorized to write the manual for this thing than Apple itself or the direct manufacturer of the product. Microsoft cannot write a manual for this product because Microsoft did not create it. Your life came with a manual. Now you are wondering, what is that manual? You are wondering, what manual am I talking about? Your life came with a manual. Your life came with something that spoke about your creation. Something that spoke about your assignment here on earth. And you have to go and look for that manual and read it. Let's just say that you believe in Darwinism. You believe in the theory of evolution. What do? Go and look for a book on evolution and read it. Go and read Charles Darwin, thesis on evolution, and see whether it helps you to find out the reason for your creation, the reason for your purpose. Would it help you? Because Darwin was not your manufacturer. He was not your creator. But let's say that God created you. Let's say that the ultimate creator is Jehovah. Well, then you came with a manual called the Bible. And with it has the description of your living. So this is the first step. This is the first step for us discovering purpose. It is a step that leads us to a greater step. In that step, we will find out certain things that have been laid down as to how to find out what your purpose is. And you will not have to pray to find it. I will show you how. You will not have to fast. You will not have to pray. You will discover it. I never prayed. I never fasted for Apple to give me the purpose of this thing. No. 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 I never prayed for the manufacturer to tell me how to use this product. No. The manufacturer always makes it easy for you to know the purpose of a thing, why it was created. So you do not need to pray. You did not need to fast. And before you get me wrong, I pray a lot. But this is not the purpose of prayer. And you have to understand it. So if you want to know what your purpose is, I have 10 more minutes to spend with you to make this clear to you. That you need to first of all consult the manufacturer. Consult the manufacturer. And let me add one more to it. Then tomorrow I'll begin to break down everything to you. Number one, consult the manufacturer. Number two, self-discovery. Self-discovery. You must know yourself more than anyone knows you. You must know yourself more than anyone knows you. There was a story about the prodigal son. And this guy was born in a royal family. And in the process of time, he said unto his father, "Give me half of my possession." The reason was because he did not know what his purpose is. See, when you don't know what your purpose is, you can be given $1 million and you will destroy lives with it. There is a reason why some of you have been praying for God to bless you and God is not blessing you yet. Because you are a danger to yourself and a danger to other people. The day you are blessed, it will be tragic. So your blessings are being withheld. In fact, you don't even know what you are capable of. And this prodigal son did not know what he was capable of. He went to his father. He said, "Listen, I want to move on with my life. I am old." There are a couple of young people coming up today, moving out of their parents' houses, claiming that they are old, claiming that they are matured. They want independence. They want to live by themselves. They want to make the rules now. And all kinds of things. That was the story of this prodigal child. Said unto the father, "I want to make my own life. Give me everything that is mine. And let me move out of here. Make a will and give me my property." And this young boy took half of the royal property and left. Went to a faraway country. I'm speaking to some of you young peoples who have not yet discovered your purpose. And you are moving around like a vagabond. took his property and began to move, thinking that he had figured out the world, thinking that he knows what he is supposed to do. He bought a mansion. He did parties, lived a lavish lifestyle, and squandered all the money and went into debt. When he had money, he had friends around him. He partied with these friends. You see, because he did not know his purpose, not only was he destroying his life, he was destroying the life of other people. He organized activities that will destroy other people. Purpose is important for who you are. So this young man destroyed everything, squandered everything. Then he lost a job. He didn't have anything else. Now he has to go and look for a job. Nobody will hire him because he has no experience in life. He could not return to his mother's house, his father's house, because of the way he walked out of the house, because of the way he left. He felt embarrassed. So he went looking for a job. He got a job in a pig farm. See, where I grew up, my uncle had a pig farm. And a pig farm is a pig farm. You could smell it from 500 meters away. You could smell the death of pigs. You could smell it. My uncle has a pig farm, and you don't want to get nowhere close to that thing. It stinks. This boy took a job in a pig farm. He became so angry and starving, had nothing to eat. They weren't paying him enough of money. And this is what he did. One day while he was feeding the pigs, he began to eat the food of the pigs. He began to eat with the pigs. He began to compete for pigs' food. Many of you are competing with pigs because you don't know your purpose. You don't know your purpose. This young man began to compete with pigs. Many of you are fighting over pigs' food. You are fighting over unnecessary things in life because you don't know what your purpose is. This young man is lost. He has lost his identity. The second stage of discovering purpose is identity. Self-knowledge. He has lost his identity. He has lost who he is. There is a long story to this story, and I hope I can come to it before I end with you today. But this young man began to eat with pigs. He began to dip his hands in the same bowl with pigs. You will not understand it if you have never seen a pig farm before. But I grew up around one and I knew how it looks like. It was dirty. Worms flows all over the place. It was dirty. It is muddy. It stinks. You cannot even breathe around it. You can breathe. Those people who work around pig farms put marks on their faces. It stinks. But this young man had the audacity to dip his hands and fight with the pigs over their food. If you don't know what your purpose is, one day you will end up kissing a pig, thinking that is your wife, thinking that is your husband, because you have lost focus, because you have lost your self-identity of who you are. You have settled for something that is not for you. But what choice do you have? You don't know who you are. What choice do you have? This young man was eating with pigs. If you don't know what your purpose is, you will end up around that same lifestyle that this young man was in. Then the story unfolded, and the story said, and while he was eating with the pigs, he came to himself. He came to himself. That word, that statement meant everything. That statement changed everything. That statement brought him in direct alignment with his purpose in life. He came to himself. When would you come to yourself? When would you awaken to who you are? He came to himself and he said unto himself, in my father's house. Listen carefully. Then he said, In my Father's house, identification. He identified himself to who he is. Many of you have detached yourself from what you are. I have made this statement in the past to the African American community in the United States, that the reason why they are confused and they are lost is because of an identity problem. America will not accept them, and they also will not accept Africa as their home. They are lost. They are tossed. They have an identity crisis. And when you have an identity crisis, you are a danger to yourself. You are a danger to yourself. You cannot even see to kill the enemy. You end up killing yourself. Identity. He came to himself. You know, the African American community in this country, when I was growing up here, going through high school, the African American, for some reason, did not like the African from back home, the African from the homeland. There was an identity problem. They hated the African for some reason that you could not put your hands on. Why? And I came to realize why. Because I read the same books as they read. And I realized that in the books that they read, the books make sure that they lost contact with their identity. The books inculcated their minds, made them think that Africa is indeed an uncivilized place. It's a bad place for them. Made them think that Africans were savages. They live on trees, they live on huts, they live in holes, in caves, even in the 21st century. It was all over their TVs, all over their stations, and they saw all kinds of things, and they never wanted to be associated with this. So for them to call them Africans was an insult. They never loved it. They never wanted it. And then the nation that they lived, that they called home, the nation also did not want them. They had an identity crisis. They had an identity problem. And by that reason, they could not define who they were until Wakanda came. And now everybody wants to be Wakanda. Let's change our story. So the young man came to himself. He identified himself. Listen to me. Until you identify where you are coming from, you will never know where you are going in life. Identity, self-identification is the first step to your future. If you can't identify where you are coming from, you will not know where you are going. You see, the problem with the African American society of today is that their fathers who won the civil rights movement, they attached themselves to the African continent. The Martin Luther Kings were attached to the Nkrumahs and the rest. The Frederick Douglass and the rest were attached to the African in the homeland. Those people who won the movement understood their identity. They knew the struggle from the identity point of view. That is why they saw the future. The young man made a statement and he said, in my father's house, he identified himself. The father that he disowned, he now identified himself to the father. And that was a progress to his future. The first step to your future is identification of who you are. He said, in my father's house, even the servants are more fed than this. Even the servants are better than this. And he said, I will rise and I will go to my father's house. He said, I will rise and I will go to my father's house, even if it meant being a servant in that house. And you know what happens? When he got to his father's house, his father was waiting for him. He was restored back again to who he is in life. He began to understand who he is. His father said unto him that this my son was lost and is now found. Self-identification. Who are you? I told you from the beginning that the greatest question on earth that scientists are asking, everyone is asking, is who am I? Who am I? Self-identification changes everything in life. Identify who you are. Sit down. Have an inner reflection of yourself. Give yourself time to be with yourself. Spend time with yourself. Be with yourself. You can never know yourself until you have been with yourself. Many of you, the reason why you can't discover purpose is because you have too many people around you. You are afraid to be alone. And I will explain this to you in the future. Because if you cannot afford to be alone, you can never know yourself. You can never know yourself. Spend time with yourself. There is a season in your life when you must be self-centered. Not selfish, but self-centered. Look deep inside yourself and recognize yourself. Come to that point in your life of self-reflection. You are better than yourself. You are better than what you know. I will continue tomorrow, but tomorrow I will get you into a more dramatic stage of understanding what your purpose is. It is not about discovering your purpose. It's about rediscovering your purpose. Because you already know your purpose. You don't know that you know it. And what I am here to do is to help you to know what you already know, but you don't think that you know already. That is what I'm going to do. You already know your purpose. You just don't know that, you have not just come to the confirmation of it yet. My purpose in this period is to bring these memories back to you, is to revise these things with you. Tomorrow, I'm going to help you analyze your life. From the time you were a child, the time you were born, up until where you are right now, I'm going to help you analyze your life so that you can identify what your purpose is. So don't miss tomorrow. Because I'm going to start from you tomorrow so that you can understand from the very onset. When I started thinking about my life, at the age of 7 years, I had a dream. I remember that dream vividly, more than any dream I have ever had in my life. I remember it more than the dream I had yesterday. But I had that dream when I was 7 years old. And that dream spoke every direct word concerning my purpose in life. I was only 7 years. And that dream stuck with me. It couldn't leave my mind. It couldn't. Now, through the process of time, I desired to do other things because I neglected that dream and I did not even think about it. I just thought about it as a dream. But when I began to understand purpose and I had to begin to compare and begin to affirm and confirm certain things, that dream was one of the things that made me understand what I am today. And tomorrow I'm going to help you as well. You are going to start from the time that you were a child up until the stage that you are right now. And we shall discover what you were born to do here on earth. And you shall fulfill purpose. And purpose will keep you alive. You shall not die. David said, I shall not die, but I will live to declare the word. Purpose gives you an argument against death. You shall not die. You will discover your reason for being alive. Your life will have meaning. Your life will have substance. Thank you for listening to me today. Thank you for hearing me. Please share this with someone. Let someone join us tomorrow. Let someone be part of this. Tomorrow I'll tell you my story, the one I began with at the age of 7 years. I will tell you my name, how my name switched, how my name changed. All these things contributed to what defined my purpose. What defined my purpose. My original name was not Cephas. I will tell you what it was. I will tell you what it was tomorrow so that you understand how everything shaped up to be my purpose in life. You will understand that. And I will help you to understand your own purpose in life. Join me tomorrow. Share this on your social media. Thank you so much. God bless you. This is Cephas Kafui.